that one in and maybe start a long run of game winners throughout his career. But even without that game winner, that was a phenomenal game from Scoot Henderson. Just a phenomenal game from Scoot Henderson. He really felt like it was, again, one of his better games, and maybe a game that is what you would call the coming out party, right? He was 6 of 12 shooting from the floor. He had 10 assists, 18 points, first double-double of the season, and again, that game winner. And I just loved the way he was passing the ball, doing everything he needed to do, playing with a sense of urgency. And when he does that, the team plays well. And it's not only him, right? Like, Denny Avdia, too. Like, Denny Avdia went out there, and he had an incredible game, like one of his best games of the season as well. Led the team in scoring, tied with Shaedon Sharpe with 27 points. He also had 8 rebounds and 6 assists, so a great game from Denny Avdia. Shaedon Sharpe off to a great start in this one, and he shot the ball effectively throughout. 11 of 18 from the floor, 27 points. He had 18 points from DeAndre Ayton, 14 from Jeremy Grant. Like, everybody was chipping in. Anthony Simons struggled in this one. He was 3 for 12. And he had just 8 points, but he hit a couple big ones there in the fourth quarter when they needed him to and got it going. And, man, the rest is just history, as it were, as the Blazers pick up the 122-120 victory. If you want to jump in on the conversation, like I said, Chris J. Burkhardt is the name on social media. Also, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. And, of course, YouTube.com. It's up and running now. I was really trying hard to get my camera set up and all that, but I was struggling because I accidentally left some of my I left some of my cords and connectors at home today because, you know what, it's the holidays and it's busy, and I took too much out of my bag and forgot to put it back in. But we'll fix that. We'll absolutely fix that. But if you want to get in on the conversation, 503-248-0620. And again, youtube.com, Rip City Radio. You can join the chat there. Before I dive back into the box score and what happened here, let's head out to the phone where Elijah from Salem is waiting patiently. Elijah, welcome into the fifth quarter. The floor is yours.
Yeah,
right?
Hey. Oh, man. What a game. What a game.
What a game.
First of all, I just want to say I'm just so proud of Scoot Henderson's leadership. His game is growing. He's going to be a better player. And I'm just proud of in tough situations he came out and played. I know fouls happen, stuff like that, but he didn't let that get in the way. He let his leadership carry him and brought the whole team to victory. And it's just amazing to see. And it's a big one. And it's we can't explain that in words, so just proud of him, and proud of the coach. I don't know the coach's name, stepping in.
Nate Borkrin today.
So, yeah, proud of him. Condolences to Chauncey's family. Hope he's doing well, but proud job for the whole team, and hopefully they can use this as energy to the next game, and very proud of them all. So. Great win. Great team win.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thanks for the call, Elijah. And calls like that are kind of why we do this show, right? And that's why we're all Blazer fans. I mean, he doesn't even answer with a, hey, how you doing? He just yells out just an exclamation of excitement. And that's what it's all about, man. When Scoot goes out there, hits a game winner, Rip City is roaring, man. Rip City is excited, and that's what being a fan's all about. That's just a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And you're right. You're talking about his leadership there, Elijah. Yeah, Scoot looked good. Scoot looked good tonight. I liked what he was doing. I liked what he did defensively. Did he make a couple hiccups? Absolutely he did. But offensively he was getting there. And I still think, man, defensively he's showing signs of being decent on that end too. Plays a little bit bigger than he looks. So he got switched on Markkanen a few times and did his best to affect those shots. And I mean, just all the way around, I thought this was a game where Scoot just looked comfortable. And you talk about the monkey off your back, like, man, when he does. He sits there, he hits that game winner, and he just has that exclamation of just excitement. Like, that might have been like monkey off your back moment, right? Maybe that's what opens him up a little bit. That's absolutely phenomenal. If you want to join in on the chat, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Of course, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio 620. You can join the conversation there as well. And speaking of that telephone, let's head out to Jake in Northeast Portland. Jake, welcome into the fifth quarter. The floor is yours.
Hey, what is up, my friend? Hey, shout out to Scoot hitting that game winner. You know, he's had a rough stretch lately where I think a lot of people are starting to feel a lot of doubt about spending the number 3 pick on him. But he had a great night tonight. You know, he's only 20 years old. I think there's still hope he can put it together and become a franchise builder. Sharp had a great game too. This was the first game I can remember where like we had like our quote unquote backcourt of the future playing together really well at the same time, kind of feeding off each other. Scoot and Sharp had a great game. But the guy I really want to talk about right now is Denny Avdia, and I don't understand what we're doing. What are we doing with this guy? This guy is playing like an all-star, and he has played 20 minutes or more twice in the month of December, and he's playing like an all-star. He is clearly the Portland Trailblazers' best player, clearly was our best player this night. The man shot 13 shots and scored 27 points. He plays like an all-star. He leaves it on the floor. He is doing everything, and we are not – 3 times in the last month we played him under 10 minutes. And, you know, he had that quote to an Israeli reporter that we need to be careful with this dude, man. We may not be treating him as well as we should. He is literally putting up all-star numbers and efficiency, and we are playing him not enough. It's crazy. He is clearly our best player. The last 3 games we've played him 19 minutes, 7 minutes, and 19 minutes. Like we have to make room for him, whether that be through trade or whatever. The man, he is 23 years old on a team-friendly contract. We have him locked up for 4 years on a team-friendly contract. He is the best hope we have at this point of becoming relevant right now. And
well, I'm gonna tell you something here. I gotta tell you something here, Jake. I'm gonna tell you something here, Jake. I want to know where you're getting your statistics from because they're wrong. They're wrong.
I'm looking at him. So
Denny Avdia has not played less than 20 minutes since November 13th. He has not played less than 20. Played 41 minutes against Atlanta, 36 against Sacramento, 22 in Dallas. He dropped a fancy 30 minutes and 57 seconds of playing time tonight. So he's been playing. He's absolutely been playing. Now, I agree with you on this whole playing like an all-star thing, man.
My bad. I had too many. I had the columns. He's still not playing enough minutes. 23 minutes left.
No.
21 minutes the next game. He needs to be playing over 30 minutes a night. There's tons of times where. Anyway.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hey, you're not wrong, man, because I've been on this Denny train lately, and it's about getting him in there. And if you can get him in more, that's great. Because I think that I agree with you. Like I think he's playing like one of, if not the team's best player. But I also love him in the role that he's in right now. Like I love him coming off the bench and just taking over. I think that allows him to be so free and open and score the way he does. Like I know maybe it's too easy of a comp, but like I feel like there's Manu Ginobili to him, right? Like Manu Ginobili was one of the best players on that Spurs roster, but he was coming off the bench and redefined how you use a sixth man, man. And the way they're using Denny right now in that role, I love it. And if you want to find a way to get him more minutes, I am not opposed to that.
I don't care if he starts or comes off the bench. The man just needs to be playing 30, 35 minutes a night.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can find a way. Hey, man, I appreciate the call as always, and love the enthusiasm. And you're right. What a day, man. That Scoot game winner was something, wasn't it?
Yes, it was great. It was great to see. I hope that this can boost his confidence a little bit. And, yeah, because we're all rooting for him. You know, he's struggled as of late, and we're all rooting for him. So I hope he can put some string some games together and get on the right track. But that was a great game winner. All right, go Blazers.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate the call as always, Jake. And you know what? You are obviously a big fan of Denny Avdia. And here's the thing, man. People were so kind of up in arms when that trade happened. And I remember talking to some people who actually covered the Wizards, and their like word for word was, "Whoa, Blazers just got a good one." Like he hasn't been used right. There's a lot of talent there, and I think the Blazers struggled with how to use him early. And right now, man, he is on a tear. Like he had that, was it the San Antonio game where he had an off game, and you're like, oh, that was weird, because he's been like one of the most consistent Blazers, right? Like Ant gets out there and has great games too, but then he falls off. Like Denny has been so good, and tonight, Jake, with the 31 minutes he played, the Blazers don't win this game if Denny Avdia is not on the floor. So you're pushing for him, getting more minutes, and talking about, dude, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. He's been absolutely incredible. I love the fact that he's out there just balling. And his 31 minutes tonight was I guess it was fourth most on the team tonight, just behind DeAndre, Tumani, and Jeremy. Of course, I want to see Donovan Clingan get some minutes on there as well. I still see we got people on hold, so don't worry, we're going to get to you. Let's head out next to Keith. Who's let's see, by now he might be past Drew Eubanks' stomping grounds of Troutdale or coming through. Keith from Hood River, how you doing, my man? Thanks for saying hi to me today, by the way.
Hello, Chris. No, thank you for meeting up with me, man. It's always good to see you. I'm always happy when we can say hello. And yes, I have officially passed by Troutdale. We are approaching Cascade Locks. We're out here and basically swimming our way home down 84 with how much water there is. It is a wet night.
Bro, you're already in Cascade Locks. Y'all made some good time.
We're getting there. We're not quite to Cascade Locks, but we're approaching. But you'll know I hit Cascade Locks when the phone cuts out on me. That's how you know we get there.
Is it? Hey, between you and me, even though she can hear, is Abby a leadfoot?
She's driving wonderfully. There are some crazy people on this road, man, and there are some massive puddles, and she's navigating all of it while I sit here on the phone. I could not ask for a better navigator home, honestly.
Okay,
so I can't even say it's driving because it's basically you're navigating a boat at this point with the conditions out here for it.
Professional hydroplaner. Hey, man, so I sat up there in the 300 level with you in the third bench for half the game today, had some fun, and you and I were talking a little bit about certain people we had talked to about, hey, how come Scoot's not playing crunch time minutes? He needs to be out there to develop. And who was out there during crunch time tonight, man? Scoot. And then, I mean, you didn't expect that game winner. What was your thought when he goes in there, takes that shot, and makes it?
His ears were burning, man. We were talking about him. He knew what was going on, and he made sure that he was back in there for it. That game winner, like you know me. You saw me stand up when we were sitting there in 317. I was jumping up when the plays happened. Everyone was rising to their feet at that last moment. Everyone was getting up for it, and to see him, this is what we're waiting for. Not just the game winner, honestly, not just the finish at the end, but to have the double-double, his first double-double of the season. I think I saw it was his 9th double-double overall in the career. And how about this, Chris? 85 games tonight. This is the 85th game for Scoot in his career. His 35th start, 9 double-doubles. He's hitting a double-double 1 out of every 4 starts, essentially. We need him starting as point guard. He needs to be having the ball in his hands, like I've been saying. Tonight was nice. It looked good, but tonight was not even a start, so it's not even that would have been 36, right, as far as the starts for. So he's ahead of 1-4. It's just odd to play a point guard off ball next to a combo guard whose primary skill is catch and shoot. I'm never going to understand the logic for it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, you know what? He got his shot off. He got the game winner. It was beautiful. I want to get your take on this. And Keith hosts a podcast called The Trailcasters. He records it once a year with me every time I try to get him to actually do it. So hopefully we'll record one here soon.
We'll be back.
But this comment on YouTube from Jackson, he says, I was there when we played versus Utah and lost by 42. I think when Scoot, Denny, Sharp help facilitate, we play at our best. Tonight was so great to see, especially Scoot with the criticism he gets. So I want to get your take, man, because you and I were talking about that too, like the way Denny moves the ball, the way Scoot moves the ball, the way Shaden can shoot the ball. They need to find ways to get those three playing together more often.
Absolutely they do. And the way to do it is, in my opinion, would be having getting Scoot back to start. And you can rotate Denny in, because I'm kind of with you. I think his fit is about coming off the bench. I think he works really well how he is. We might lose you for a second here with the tunnel, but we are going to try and stick it through. That trio, though, of Scoot, Shaden, and Denny, and you work in Tumani and Clingan, man, that is the future core of this team, that 5. But Denny, I think he works the best off the bench of that core group, especially of the Scoot Shaden and Denny combo. But I think he's that player where you're seeing he's the prototype that every team is looking for. That guy he's a Swiss Army knife essentially, right? He can be the bull coming down the lane. He's got the playmaking, and we saw the shooting tonight too. I was nervous when he's taking it still, maybe more so than some of the other players. But to see it going in for Denny, man, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to see him starting yet. I like what we've got going. We'll see what happens with the trade deadline with Grant, Aiden, and Simons, but I love the core we have here. Scoot, Shaden, Denny, and obviously Tumani and Klingon as they come along here as well, man. I am excited about the future.
All right, bud. Well, hey, drive safe the rest of the way, and I'll hit you up when I get home. If I'm feeling up to it, I might play one round of DBD with you just to celebrate. Okay? I'll
be there. I'm ramped up. I will be up all night. So I'll see you then.
There it is. All right, thanks, bud. That's my buddy. Yep, you too. That's my buddy Keith of the Trailcasters. I give him a hard time. We did record that podcast quite a bit, but you know what? Life is busy. Sometimes we get busy. It's hard to do, and he likes to spend time with the fam, as do I. We'll get back to it, though. The people are clamoring for it. I absolutely know they are. All right, let's stay in PDX. Let's send out to Drew, who's been waiting patiently. First off, Drew, thank you so much for waiting patiently on the line, but now it's all worth it. The floor is yours. Welcome into the fifth quarter.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I go to a lot of games. I was, at the game tonight, and I feel that there are, Blazer games that are fun to go to, and there's good wins to see, and then there's kind of like great moments in Blazer history, and I kind of feel that tonight was one of those just sort of like caught you by surprise, like great moments for the team, for Scoot to get the game winner that way. And I don't know if your other callers have mentioned this, but, Denny Advia absolutely erupted on Scoot Henderson on the court tonight, either like end of the third or beginning of the fourth. I don't know if you saw that or caught that, but it's been a long time since I've seen a Blazer call another Blazer out, in mid-game like that. And he was demanding him to get back on defense. I know there was a switch and Scoot got lost, but, the other Blazers had to calm Denny down, and Denny at the end of the game, he called for the ball, and Scoot drove and took the shot, and he made it, and everyone was very happy. And, as that shot went up, I'm thinking, if Scoot misses that shot, that might have some ramifications for this team's overall chemistry going forward, because he's struggled to shoot. Like, he got it over two Jazz players, and Denny Advia looked just as happy as anybody else when all was said and done. So, no, it was a really, really great night. And I agree with the previous caller who was talking about, needing to use Denny more, and just the overall consensus that, this core unit of Klingon, Scoot, Tsunami, Sharp, and Denny, they're fun to watch when they're on, when they're on. So it was an awesome game, a really, really awesome game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Drew, we'll hear from Coach Burkhardt here in just a little bit, but he was asked about that exact exchange that you were talking about there with Denny, and he basically said that it's part of the game, but he likes it. It's two guys, because he's like, Scoot was yakking at him, and he was yakking back and forth. The crowd was loud, so yeah, they had to yell a little bit, but he was basically saying he likes that because that's the communication and the things you have to have, and it shows a little bit of that drive, right? One of the things I said on the pregame show, Drew, was that it's just right now, like sometimes these players, they're just a little too passive. There's a lot of passive personalities on this team. They need that guy to step up and be vocal. And when Denny does that, I think they respond, man. And I think maybe some of those other guys might eventually start being like, hey, I can be that vocal guy too. Because you know what? That's what, when you mess up and someone gets on you, that's how you get better and get into the right spots. And as Coach said, it was just two guys who were communicating. They were trying to communicate with each other. They both missed it. But at the end of the day, they got the win and they were better for it. So I'm glad you pointed it out because Coach was asked about that. Good eyes, my man.
Right on. And by the way, thank you to that assistant coach for sitting Grant and Simons at the end of the game and letting those guys finish it. There's some interesting lineups at the end of that game, I mean, kudos to that guy for doing that.
Yeah, that's the smart play, and sometimes coaches don't do that, man, and I hate it. Like, okay, like Terry Stotts would do that sometimes, right? Where it's like, okay, this person always subs in with 2 minutes left in the quarter. I'm like, but the guy you subbed out's on a heater. Why take him out, right? Sometimes what you're seeing in front of you is better than the rotations you like to do. Like even the late game, like I feel like I don't see Chauncey do it enough, and maybe it's just easy to pile on Chauncey sometimes. But like the Borkhardt at the end, what did he do with 30 seconds left? He took out Tamani Kamara and he put Jeremy Grant in. Why? Oh, because they needed an offensive bucket, so he put in his offensive player, and as soon as the possession was done, subbed back in his defender. I'm like, the little things like that are smart, and they need to happen more often, man.
Oh, 100%, and I noticed that as well, and I was like, it's been a while since we've seen the Blazers make those types of late game decisions. So I'm just really glad Scoot took the shot after everything. I'm glad it went in. I'm just really glad for the Blazers tonight. It was a great night for the Blazers tonight, a really great night.
All right, man. Hey, absolutely. Hey, Drew, thanks for the call. You're always welcome back in. I appreciate you listening in, tuning in, and giving us a call, bud. That was Drew in Portland. That was a good call there. That's a good call. I like his eyes. Drew, if you're still listening, you got good eyes, my man. You picked out on all the things that I was picking up on and a lot of other people were picking up on. Like I said, Denny getting pretty vocal there at the end, the rotations. And I mean, here's the deal. I love Anthony Simons as much as the next guy. Now, I've been vocal about where he needs to go and what they need to do and how I want to see Scoot get in there, what have you, and how he's been having a bad year. But here's the thing. If he's shooting well, you keep him in. But if he's shooting poorly, you don't just sit there and just, hey, just keep jacking it. Green light, man. Like no. And so I like the fact that Borkhardt is like, no, well, the Denny, Scoot, Shea lineup's working for us, so we're going to take you out and we're going to let those guys go and see where it takes us, man. And especially in the year where you're being sold that this is a rebuild and losses are going to happen, taking those risks are worth it, and they're smart coaching plays, so I like that. Now, he did say post-game he was just doing what Coach Billups would do, and I don't know if that's exactly true, but I think what Nate did here was he was in at the head coach role, and he took the chance to kind of do some head coach things, and I like that. An opportunity knocks, right? You do your things. You don't want to step over the toes too bad and upset Coach, but hey, we have an opportunity to win a ball game. We're going to do it. I can't wait to see when Coach gets back, because I think we're going to have to ask him about the job Nate did and then these wins. And for those of you who don't know, Nate Borkhardt, an assistant coach, filling in for Chauncey Billups. Our condolences go out to him. He's missing today's game and Saturday's game after the passing of his grandmother, and so condolences to Billups and his family. Never a great reason to miss a game, but you know what? The Blazers gifted him a win, so hopefully he feels a little bit better. Hey, thanks everyone for calling in. I mean, usually some of these games we've been done by now. We breezed through this show. We haven't even got to our first break yet, so we better go ahead and take one. We're going to take a quick break. If you want to join in on the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go to youtube.com. Get in on the comments there. I'm trying to catch up to them. You know what? On the next segment, I'm going to go through those and let you guys know what I've been seeing here. And, yeah, just going to keep this conversation going. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about this game. Might head to the coach's corner. I still got game balls to hand out. But first things first, because it's so beautiful to play. When we come back, Brenden is going to cue up our shot of the night, and I wonder what it could be. I am on the edge of my seat here. It's going to be glorious. The fifth quarter, presented by Coors Light, rolls on after the break, right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
It's time for the fifth quarter shot of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Blazers are not going to call a timeout. We're down to 11 seconds left. Scoot brings it across the timeline. Down to 6 seconds. Scoot's got it. Top of the key. Drives, attacks on Kessler. Stops, turns, fades. Hits it! With 1/10 of a second, Scoot Henderson gives the Blazers the lead. Timeout, Utah.
It's time for the fifth quarter drive of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Blazers are not going to call a timeout. We're down to 11 seconds left. Scoot brings it across the timeline. Down to 6 seconds. Scoot's got it. Top of the key. Drives, attacks on Kessler. Stops, turns, fades. Hits it! With 1/10 of a second, Scoot Henderson gives the Blazers the lead. Timeout, Utah.
Brenden understood the assignment. I mean, if we had a dunk of the night segment, I would have made that the dunk of the night, even though it wasn't a dunk. It just deserves to be the highlight that plays in perpetuity. And I believe it was Drew who was talking about, sometimes there's games that you remember, they're fun, and then there's some games that are just phenomenal moments in Blazer history. And I heard someone else say it too in the arena, like, this might be one of those games where you remember that you were in the building the night Scoot hit that game winner, right? If this
totally
can be
true,
it is, right? It feels like it, right? If this can be the catalyst that gets him going and off the hump, Brenden, like, that's a good thing, because he has been criticized, and it's all been fair. I mean, he was the number 3 overall pick, but tonight he played like it, and I hope that you can continue to build off that. So,
right. I mean,
phenomenal.
Just to add on to that, Chris, real quick, is you think about, like, a guy like Scoot, to your point, like, not to trim it down and take away the whole sample size and go to one game. But when you think about a young guy like him, didn't face maybe elite competition with the G League and, kind of had, a bit of a rough start. But I wonder if a guy like that needs like a signature moment to kind of break out of his shell and kind of be the star or, close to what he was kind of pegged as. And from that, I mean, this could be kind of his jumping off point. I mean, do you think that's possible?
No, I absolutely do. I think I've covered sports long enough, and you have too. I mean, you cover a lot of college football down there at Oregon State, and yeah, it's not basketball, but how many times have you seen, whether it be a running back or a quarterback or a wide receiver, or defensive player, whatever it is, get an opportunity or they haven't been playing well, but all of a sudden they have that one game and they never look back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
totally.
It can happen. It can happen. So I'm totally hoping that that this can be it for Scoot, man. It's just a heck of a game again. He 29 minutes, 18 points, 10 rebounds, phenomenal double-double. So, gosh, good on you, Scoot. And speaking of Scoot, let's hear from the man, because when you hit game winners and the Blazers win, then Brooke Olzendam gets one of those rare walk-off interview chances, and this thing's glorious. I want to point out. I want to hear if you guys hear the one. There's one quote that's going to stand out to you because it stood out to me, and we're going to talk about it. So let's give this a listen.
Let's head down to the floor. Brooke is standing by with Scooter.
Wow, Scoot all tied up at 120 with under 10 seconds to go. Take me through that last play.
I didn't want to feel rushed. That was the best shot, I could have took at that moment, with Walker Kessler. Kind of tracking my steps, so I was going to finish at the rim, but, man, that was the best shot, and everybody played well, though. So when we lock in the defense, we one of the best young teams in the league. So I think we just stay locked in and keep getting more wins. We'll be all right. Was there any way you weren't going to take that last shot? Nah. I would rather that than, it's in the corner. So, I mean, if I'm in the game at that moment, and God bless me with the ability to hoop, so I'm going to use my talent. So. Can you kind of break down your celebration following that shot? I get money, man. That's what that is, that money. You feel me? How do you think Chauncey would feel about this win in your play? I think Chauncey is watching it and knowing that we are a different team than the last game we played. Defensively, pace-wise, organization, I mean, it was all there. But money. Yeah, get to that money. Nice job. Thank you.
And there you hear Scoot. And again, that point that stood out to me, I said you were going to hear it. And he said, I'd rather be taking that shot than sitting in the corner. And again, it's something that I talked to plenty of people about. I talked to Keith, who called in earlier, about that, how, he sits there and he is good with the ball in his hands, and then you put him in the corner to be a catch and shoot player. And then Anthony Simons is a good catch and shoot player, but you put the ball in his hands and make him be a facilitator and a shot creator. Those guys are playing in spots that aren't their strengths. And I get doing it early in the year to experiment, but at this point, put them where they're strong, man. I don't think it's coincidental that Ant had a pretty bad night shooting, but when he did find his stroke in the fourth quarter, he hit 2 3-pointers. And what were they? Catch and shoot 3-pointers. I'm shocked, I tell you. I'm shocked that he hit 2 catch-and-shoot threes. He said sarcastically, of course, because that's where he's good at, right? And he hit them. And so Scoot did this, and when you put the ball in his hands, good things happen, man. So I love that Scoot did that. I love that he had that moxie and wanted to go in there, and it was beautiful. If you want to join in the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Of course, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio and get in on the conversation there. Where Air Weldon says that's what Ant's been stuck doing this whole career too. Dude, it's so true. It's so true. I don't know why they've just put him in like weird spots. That poor guy, I feel, has been just pulled and yanked and tugged so often. Like when you had Dame and CJ here, Dame was your backup guard, right? So he got to play a little more of that 2 spot and be effective with it. But then CJ gets traded, and he's instantly, now he's the backup guy. Then Dame gets traded, now he's the guy, and it's just like this. I've always saw him as more of a 2 than a 1. So it is interesting. And also shout out to Air Weldon on the comment there. Got to put a face to the name today. I know Air Weldon's been in the chat for a long time, and he just, I'm walking through the tunnel, and he's like, Burkhardt, and I look up, and I'm like, hey, and totally, like, if I would be him and could see me, I 100% had the look of, am I supposed to know you? Because you obviously know me. And then he just dropped an Air Weldon, and I'm like, nice to meet you, dude. So it's always cool when I get to see some of you guys, because I don't know what you look like when you call the show or comment on YouTube, and I appreciate it though. Same thing with Timmy Hammock. I'm just sitting there chatting with him and Travis one day, and he's like, I'm always in the chat giving you a hard time. I'm like, who are you? He's like, Timmy Hammock, and I'm like, I get it. And Samuel's saying, hey, great shot, great game. That's my man, Sam, who. Water polo guy, likes to come over here and host a show with me. He's a published author. He's the man, so hopefully get to talk to him again soon. So yeah, Air Weldon, I apologize for the confusion on my face, and it will probably happen again, because there's a lot of things in this world I'm good at, and one I am terrible at is names and face recognition. So if you have to introduce yourself again, please don't take it personal. I'm so bad, but I do appreciate it, man. That was pretty awesome. I like getting to meet you guys. It makes me happy. I know I look grumpy, but I promise you I am not. I'm not a grumpy guy. I'm happy, so I'm having fun. But Air Weldon did say he was disappointed Patty Mills didn't sign his jersey. He'd been waiting for 15 years for that. Come on, Patty, this is your home. People love you here. Go sign that jersey. I am not famous, Air Weldon. I'm radio famous. I did get recognized at Costco once, which threw me off, because someone's like, Burkhardt, I listened to the radio show. I'm like, how do you recognize me from radio? And then I was like, oh, yeah, we do YouTube now, too. But I appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. If you want to join in on the conversation, again, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. Get in on the conversation. 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can tweet at us, too, at Chris J. Burkhardt or at B_slot. Over there on YouTube, Jackson says, it's nice to see the building have that Rip City energy. We know, because when we get wins like this, I'm not sure when the next one will come. That's a fair comment, absolutely. And this is why we have been trying to preach the patience of the rebuild, because what else can you do, right? And me, you got to try to find the positive sometimes. And it's easy. People want to crap on me sometimes, like, oh, you're overly optimistic. And it's like, dude, when you're playing 82 games and they're losing a majority of them, why just be grumpy all the time? Especially when you have to host the dang show. Like, it's hard to do. But moments like this, Jackson, are phenomenal, because they remind you, quite honestly, how special Rip City is, right? Like, this place wasn't sold out, not even close to it. But the energy felt like it, right? And when you can get that vibe from, a 80%, three-quarter full building, then you know it's special. And when it's full and the team is winning, then you get the true Rip City vibe. And this is not, it's going to sound like a homer take because I'm here in Portland, but I'll tell you what, I have been to every single arena in the NBA except for Houston, still on my list. Got to get there. But I've been to every other one. and Portland, the atmosphere and the way the fans react, it's top notch. It's like top 5, easy. Like it's phenomenal. It's Rip City special, man. Rip City special. Rip City's so special that's been Rip City forever, and then all these other cities are like, hey, we gotta be a city. How about Clutch City and Grind City and Buzz City, and yeah, we gotta be cool too. Nah, man, the vibes here are very, very special. You go to other places, man, no joke. Like, go to New Orleans, right? Like, there's Pelican fans, and those Pelican fans bleed Pelican colors just like you guys do Blazer colors. But they also have the New Orleans Saints, and that is an NFL town through and through, right? Go to Denver. There's plenty of good Nuggets fans, but that is a Bronco and an Avs town. Like, that is football, hockey, football again, and then maybe the Nuggets and the Rockies, right? And you can tell. This team, it's the Blazers. It's the Blazers. And they like their soccer, too. That's why the Timbers Army and the Timbers fans are so special. So Jackson's totally on, man. The energy in this building is special when you get nights like this. And I'm glad Scoot got to be the one to provide it, man. It's big for him, and I hope it leads to more. I hope it snowballs into something just a little bit bigger. All right, we're going to take another break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, we're going to hear from fill-in coach, assistant coach Nate Borkren, who is filling in for Chauncey Billups today. And we've got some game balls to hand out, and then we'll work on getting out of here if no one else wants to join the show. If you want to join the show, though, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. YouTube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and get in on the conversation. And, again, Air Weldon said, when everyone stood up with 13 seconds left, that felt like the good times. Absolutely it did. When you're in media row and you have to stand up because you can't see the court because every fan in front of you is standing up, exactly. You know it's good times. So I'm glad that you guys got to experience that tonight. This is the 5th quarter presented by Coors Light. We continue after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Fifth quarter, Chris Burkhardt here with you. Good job, Brenden. Yeah, Brenden asked me a question, and I couldn't answer because the only way to answer, because we're in different buildings, the only way to answer is to get on air. So I just turn the button on, start talking. Like a true pro, baby. Like a true pro. But, hey, again, Coach Billups did not coach tonight. He's out dealing with the passing of his grandmother. So our condolences go out to Coach Billups. But in the interim for the next for tonight and the game on Saturday, assistant coach Nate Borkren filled in. So he got the honor and the pleasure of heading to the post-game press conference. So it is time for the Nate Borkren edition of the Coach's Corner.
For the latest on tonight's game, we head to the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, he really got going there. I liked his aggressive attacks to the rim. Number one, he was doing a good job of playing through hits and creating contact and getting to the line. Big of him coming off the bench. I think what he end up with, like 27. But just, huge minutes from him, and I thought our bench was good. We can get into Scoot's game winner when you're ready, but I thought a lot of guys off the bench did a nice job, and it was everybody. It was the first five. It was the next guy that came in. I thought guys came in and out of the game ready to play, and we scrapped and fought.
Can you explain your thought process to ride with Denny and Scoot in crunch time?
Yeah, I just thought that lineup really had it going, and I rode them, the whole last part of the game. I thought that lineup was playing with a tremendous amount of energy. I thought they were extremely confident, and it was just one of those things that was the group that was kind of rolling. So I decided to stay with it as long as I could.
Well, let's get into it then. What you like the look that Scoot got? What do you think of that play?
Yeah, it was he had such a great game, a double-double, and I thought that even in the first half, I thought he was playing really well. To have, double-digit assists and just the floor game that he was playing. I liked his confidence. I liked it. Even the play before he tried to attack, we didn't quite get the rebound down there, but I liked it, and I liked the shot. I decided not to call a timeout and let it play on, and the crowd was really behind us. It was a fun game for the guys. It really was.
You mixed up the minutes and the lineups differently than what we usually see around here. Was there a moment for you when you said, heck, I'm the head coach here, I'm going with my gut, whatever it takes to win this game?
Yeah, and I do just exactly what Coach Billups, would have done. That group, that some of those guys that were in there late, that group was just playing really well. So I decided to run that group longer. Instead of breaking that rhythm. And I thought it was a big, there was guys on the bench who were really supportive, and when I called their name to go back into the game, they produced. I thought early in the game, when it maybe wasn't going our way, I don't know how much we got down, but we were getting a lot of passes tipped. They weren't like selfish plays. We were trying to make the right play to the next guy. Someone got tipped. I remember Jeremy was running down the lane and someone was making a pass to the corner man and it kind of hit him. So for us to fight through all of that stuff, I thought we generated a lot of shots that we wanted, especially in the fourth quarter when we needed them the most.
They come out in the third and they go 16-0 to start the half. Kind of, what are you thinking at that point? What are you telling the team? And obviously, you're exactly right. Like, you guys were able to rally and kind of get it back in the right direction.
Just hang in there because we were playing the right way. We really were. We didn't get a couple shots to fall there early. They got a couple runouts in transition where they go bang, bang on threes, and that really gets up to that run that you're talking about. When we got back and got matched, that's when we were at our best. When we were a step behind or weren't quite matched up in transition, they made us pay for that. But it wasn't due to a lack of effort on that. Sometimes we had a couple guys run into one man, and we were trying to point and talk, and I love the way that we played. I really do.
On that point of getting, crossed up in transition, late in the fourth there, Scoot missed Juzang, and Denny lit him up pretty aggressively. I don't say it as a bad thing, but Denny's the kind of guy that he feels comfortable enough to do that now. Do you like seeing the vocal leadership come out of him there?
Yeah, and Scoot, the same thing. Like there are guys on our team that that's good. The communication like that is good, and it's healthy, and it's competitive. I think then the next time down, Denny banged a 3 right back, so that was a good, makeup for that. No matter whose fault it was, I'd have to go back and watch it. But I remember the shot. It was a big one there on the left wing. And the crowd was great. They were both talking. They just happened to both be saying the exact same thing, and then no one ran to the ball. And it happens, but like I said, they were talking wasn't due to lack of effort.
There you hear from Coach Burkhardt, and man, it's just a good job by him. Absolutely, good job by him. Man, what a game! Just what a game! What a game! What a game! What a game! Got nothing else to say. It was phenomenal. Hey, Brenden.
Yo, what's
Brenden,
up?
Get in here with me.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely, man. Let's party like it's
I've talked
1977. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa. I don't want to party with a negative 20-year-old Brenden, okay?
This is probably fair.
But hey, to be fair, in 1977 I was -9, so it's all good. What was your reaction? You're over there in the studio, unfortunately, by yourself. But I was in the arena. You guys had same reaction, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I mentioned earlier, Chris, obviously been an up and down year. There's been some frustrating moments, and I actually came in super optimistic tonight because one of the first things I said to you when you and I are linking up, I said, Blazers going to win tonight, right? And Chris well, we'll see. And I'm like, I just kind of had a good feeling about tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, to see the growth and development, in a way, Scoot may have arrived in some sense tonight. I love seeing his reaction. He called it, I think, money with Brooke, the tongue out and everything. It was cool, man. And to quote some of our listeners on YouTube and whatnot, it felt like old times, man. And we need more of that around here.
Yeah, absolutely we do. And speaking of which, we still got a game ball to get to. But before we get to that, just hit that game winner one more time, please.
Blazers are not going to call a timeout. We're down to 11 seconds left. Scoot brings it across the timeline. Down to 6 seconds. Scoot's got it. Top of the key. Drives, attacks on Kessler. Stops, turns, fades. Hits it! With 1/10 of a second, Scoot Henderson gives the Blazers the lead. Timeout, Utah.
Oh, gosh, that was phenomenal. Well done, Scoot. Like Brenden just said.
TD was a great call, too.
Oh yeah, Travis. He's awesome, man. That was a great call. I always get excited for him when he gets a chance to do that because they don't come around that often these days. But he was ready for the moment. Speaking of being ready for the moment, time now to hand out our game ball. I know Scoot is the leader in the clubhouse for the game ball, right? He hit the game winner. It was beautiful. But I got to give the game ball to Denny Avdia. I don't think they win that game if he doesn't have the performance he did tonight. 27 points, 9 of 13 shooting. He hit 7 free throws as well, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block shot. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I got to give him the props on that one. But also, it's my show, and it said it was time for the game balls, plural. So let's hand out one to Scoot, too. Scoot can have one, too. Why not? Everybody, you get a game ball, and you get a game ball, and you get a game ball. But really, it was Denny. That was obvious. We got another comment. What? Maseo? I'm probably messing that up. We can't even tank well, LOL. Hey, the losses are still going to come. Granted, this would have been, in the grand scheme of things, you gain ground, air quotes, gain against Utah. So it would have been nice. But if you lose one in the loss column to Utah there, and you don't gain ground on them today, I'm okay with it because of the way the game played out. Okay, I'm okay with it. Wasn't perfect when it comes to the win-loss in the tank, but this team only has 10 wins now. Okay, 10 wins, 20 losses. Lots of losing will come before the end of the year. That was fun. Let us have one. Blazer fans enjoyed it. It was like old times. All right, that's going to do it for the fifth quarter. Oh, boy, what a show. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. But we'll be right back at it on Saturday. Blazers taking on the Dallas Mavericks here at home. And if you're paying attention, Luka Doncic has a calf strain. He'll be reevaluated in a month, so he will not be playing as the Blazers look to get a little bit of redemption from that loss on the road just a few nights ago. Tip-off at 7. That means I'll have Blazers game day for you at 5 o'clock right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. For all our callers out there today, for everyone over there on YouTube, to Eric Weldon for introducing himself to me, as awkward as I was, I appreciate all of you. Man, what a night it was as the Blazers pick up a 122-120 victory over the Utah Jazz on the back of a last-second game winner by Scoot Henderson. Oh, man, that was awesome. This has been the fifth quarter presented by Coors Light. We will talk to you on Saturday right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.